Codemasters racing sim franchise returns F1 24 based on the 2024 FIA Formula One World Championship. Launching on May 31st for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC, the developer could have rested on its laurels following last year's success. However, F1 24 introduces new modes, revamps its handling and tire models, and more to deliver a compelling experience. Here are 15 things you should know before jumping in. Driver Career Mode. Instead of another iteration of Breaking Point, F1 24 introduces Driver Career Mode. This allows for playing as one of 20 real drivers from the 2024 Formula One season, as you meet race weekend and seasonal goals, fulfill contracts, and boost your reputation. Those who want a bit more historical flavor can play as legends like Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher, or even have them as your teammates. You can even create a custom character and compete directly with the best in F1 or work your way up from F2. Whatever the choice, co-op once again returns, allowing two players to experience career mode together. Career mode changes. Of course, career mode offers several other improvements, changes, and new features like secret contract meetings, though it means big trouble if your team finds out. Building a reputation also affects research and development, with fewer chances for part design to fail and options for secret upgrades. Then you have driver accolades, which can apply to all types of racers and revolve around wins, podium placements, how many points you finished with, and much more. However, they also mirror the achievements of real-world drivers. For instance, Max Verstappen's accolades revolve around continuing his championship reign, while Lewis Hamilton seeks his 8th title. Track updates. F1 24 offers 24 circuits from the official calendar year, with several revamped to ensure more accuracy. Silverstone has received significant updates to ensure players feel every bump, curb, and elevation change, including changes to the undulation in Wellington Strait's first section. Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps has seen some reprofiling done to Arrogue and Radillion, Turn 11, and the bus stop, alongside updates to its run-off area. Some off-track fairings will also now reflect the real-life versions. Other circuits changed include revamped paddock buildings, curbs, and safety barriers for LaSalle International Circuit, while Jeddah Corniche Circuit features up-to-date infrastructure and trackside artwork to match the real world. Driver updates. Career Mode's 20 drivers also benefit from improvements to eye and skin shaders and full hair rendering. They're now a closer match to their real-life versions, but the differences from F1 23 are like night and day, further adding to the immersion and realism. Challenge Career. Outside of Driver Career, there's Challenge Career, which offers shorter bite-sized scenarios for players to compete. Choose a driver and team, participate in events, earn points, and battle for a position on the leaderboard. Once a season closes, whoever has the most points at the end of the season will win. The best part is that player voting in the real world will impact the drivers and circuits available, ensuring new scenarios throughout the year. Broadcast presentation improvements. The presentation aspect of F1 is always important, and to that end, F1 24 includes audio samples from real drivers during past broadcasts which react to events on the track. There's also a new broadcast package and cutscenes, alongside more realistic-looking lighting and shadows on tracks thanks to dynamic diffuse global illumination. Camera angles during broadcast replays and showrooms feature ray trace lighting, like last year's title. F1 World. F1 World returns for another season, once again challenging players to compete in a time-limited league against rivals while improving their car over time. Players can expect to complete events to obtain new personnel and parts while leveling up the podium pass. Considering how addictive last year's iteration was, all the changes and improvements that F1 24 brings should be interesting, including the new fan zones. Fan zones. With fan zones, players select their favorite teams and drivers for the season. After that, they'll compete in different challenges, including predicting race results from the real-world season, and earn fan points for rewards, including player badges. Even the less popular teams have a shot due to the balanced point systems. Dynamic handling. The new EA Sports branded dynamic handling provides more flexibility over your car setup, as new suspension kinematics offer a much more realistic feeling of weight distribution and center of gravity, per Codemasters. Revised spring and damper forces, which influence how one's car reacts to different loads while navigating corners, are also in play, and choosing the best compromise for your suspension based on the track is more vital than ever. Improved tire model. F124 also improves on tire behavior courtesy of a new temperature mode that factors in track conditions, tire pressures, and your driving. One example is a track that begins drying up after the rain, as you take advantage of remaining wet sections to cool things off, with the transitions between wet and dry conditions being more realistic. Once again, however, getting too aggressive will cause tires to deteriorate quickly, so knowing your limits is key. Aerodynamic modeling. Aerodynamics also play a role in the handling, with computational fluid dynamics (CFD) more accurately depicting the factors responsible for downforce. Slipstream can once be felt in straights when racing behind someone, but there's also dirty air, which realistically reduces your grip in corners. Furthermore, the changes to aerodynamic modeling after the drag reduction system providing more benefits when open on a car with a higher rear wing angle, even if it means lower top speeds on straights when closed. Ray tracing and PC VR support. Ray tracing is available for F124 on all current-gen platforms, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PS5. However, it's still seemingly restricted to features like replays, pre-race cutscenes, and whatnot, like in F123. VR headsets are also supported this year for PC, though it sadly seems that PlayStation VR 2 owners will be missing out. Crossplay. After F122 launched without cross-platform multiplayer, receiving it several months later in an update, F123 would launch with the same and expand on the available options, including ranked and time trial leaderboards into the mix. Thankfully, F124 is also confirmed to have cross-platform multiplayer at launch, alongside support for My Team Career Mode and the new RaceNet leagues. Early Access. As is usually the case with games nowadays, F124 players can play the title early for a price. Pre-purchasing the Champions Edition for $89.99 grants 3 days of early access, alongside 18,000 Bitcoin for spending in-game, the VIP Podium Pass, an F1 World Bumper Pack, and even 2024 seasonal liveries, which can be used in F123's time trial, though the offer is only valid until May 31st. Early access players can also unlock rewards in special events. PC requirements. Those who played F123 last year will probably notice how remarkably similar the PC requirements are for F124, which isn't a bad thing. Minimum requirements include an Intel Core i3-2130 or AMD FX 4300 8GB of RAM and either an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 6GB or an AMD RX 480 8GB. Ray tracing requires an RTX 2060, RX 6700 XT, or Intel Arc A380. Those playing in VR will need a Core i5-9600K or Ryzen 5 2600X and a GTX 1660 Ti, RX 590, or Intel Arc A380 with the same RAM. Recommended requirements include a Core i5-9600K or Ryzen 5 2600X with 16GB of RAM and an RTX 2070 or AMD RX 6600 XT. Ray tracing requires the same CPU and RAM but with an RTX 3070, RX 6800, or Arc 580. Finally, VR requires an RTX 2070, RX 6700 XT, or an Arc A580 alongside the same CPU and RAM. All configurations will need 100GB of free space, DirectX 12 support, and Windows 64-bit version 21H1 or higher. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.